Hello everyone! Welcome back to our course ChatGPT and More Software Testing Tools Every QA Should Know. In this tutorial, we will delve into XPath as a Selenium locator. This video is a part of the Udemy course Manual and Automation Software Testing with the help of ChatGPT. For more information, check the description or visit the website testing101.net below the video. XPath, XML path language, is a query language used for selecting nodes from an XML document. It's commonly associated with XML, but it's also applicable to HTML documents. An HTML document can be considered as XML document, and then we can use XPath, which will be the best traverse to reach the element of interest to locate the element. In the context of automation testing, XPath is commonly used to locate elements within the web page for automated testing purposes. It helps automation testers identify and interact with specific elements on the web page, such as buttons, text fields, drop-downs, etc. There are two main types of XPath expressions used in automation testing: absolute XPath and relative XPath. Absolute XPath starts from the root node of the HTML document and includes the complete path to the element being located. It begins with a single /. Review the example on the screen. While absolute XPath expressions are less preferred due to their sensitivity to changes in the structure of the web page, they can still be useful for locating elements when no other options are available. The other is relative XPath. Relative XPath expressions start from any mode in the document, not necessarily in the root, and are based on the relationship between elements. Relative XPaths are preferred in automation testing because they are more flexible and less likely to break when the structure of the web page changes, although can be slower than other locators. Review the example on the screen. In this video, we are going to show how to use the XPath locator, its syntax, and the most popular tools and features. There are several common methods and techniques for writing XPath expressions in automation testing, and each of them has its own syntax. The first one is syntax that starts with / and tag name. It uses the HTML tag name div a input to locate elements. It can return multiple elements with the same tag name. Let's check this in practice. For each of our lessons, we create a separate class. This time, we named the class as Selenium Locators XPath Test, so it will be easier for you to find the code you need in the feature. The final code of each lecture is available on the website testing101.net. We need to add code to find elements in the DOM. The code to find the element driver find element by XPath will remain the same during the entire tutorial. The only XPath locator itself, marked with green color, will be changing depending on the syntax of XPath. Additionally, we added the click method so the execution of the code will be visible, and the thread sleep 5000 method so the execution of the code won't be that fast. Let's go to the website and find the valid tag for the code. On the website testing101.net, we created a separate page. A link to it will be in the materials to the video. Some of those fields have unique elements, attributes, classes, etc., and you can use it for practice in this tutorial. In our case, we are going to use the drop-down, choose the account type, inspect the element with the help of the Chrome DevTools. The Elements tab will be opened on the right side of the screen with the drop-down HTML pre-selected. In the code, we can find the HTML tag select. This is the tag of the drop-down element on the form. We can check the XPath syntax on the page to be sure that the element is unique, and we can use it automation purposes. Now, click on the code area and press Ctrl+F on the keyboard. The search field will be displayed under the code area. Now we can write the XPath and check how many select elements are present on the page. Enter / and then select. Once we do it, the element will be found in the DOM and will be highlighted in green color. There you can check attributes of the element, but we don't need it for now. At the end of the search box, you can see the number of found elements. And we can see that there is only one select element on the page, which means that we can use it in our first XPath locator without additional manipulation with the attributes. So let's try it in IntelliJ IDEA. Just put / and select into the XPath double quotes. The final code should look like this. And now we can run the code to make sure we did everything correctly. Click on the play icon. The Chrome web page that is being controlled by automated test software will be opened with the filled elements form. And in a couple of seconds, you can see that the drop-down is expanded and the personal and business options are displayed. It means that the elements were successfully found with the help of the basic XPath locator. Let's move to the next one. The next XPath selector is with tag and attribute value. XPath allows you to select elements based on their attributes. You can use attributes like ID, class, name, etc. to uniquely identify elements that have specific attribute value combinations. Let's add the code to the IntelliJ IDEA. As we said, the code is exactly the same for all XPath locators. Only the value of XPath itself in the double quotes is changing. Additionally, we added the thread sleep 5000 method, so the execution of the code won't be that fast. Let's find the valid value on the website. This time, we are going to use the Submit button. Let's inspect its code with the help of Chrome DevTools. Hover the mouse over the Submit button, right-click on the mouse, and select the Inspect option. The Submit button HTML will be preselected. There we can see the tag button and the attributes. Let's search for the button element first. Click anywhere on the HTML code area and then press Ctrl+F on the keyboard. The search field will be displayed. There we can type / and button keywords to find all elements with the button tag on our page. As we can see, there are 3 elements found in the HTML DOM. It's known that in order to find an element on the page using the XPath locator, it must be unique. We can search among them by clicking on the up and down arrows. This way, we can find out that the Submit button is the third search result. If we check the attributes, we can't find the ID attribute itself. But we can find another unique attribute, Data Test ID, with the value button element. Let's search with the valid XPath for the attribute. The valid XPath syntax looks like this: /, then the element tag, button in our case. Open the square brackets, then the @ symbol. The attribute name, Data Test ID, and the value button element. Close the square brackets at the end. Our XPath locator for the Submit button with specific attribute value is done. Now, if we check the search results, we can see that only one unique element is found. And we can use the XPath for the code. Let's check it in IntelliJ IDEA. As we said, the code itself is not changed, only the XPath is changed, the value in the double quotes. This time, we put the attribute value button element also in the double quotes. While this will work fine, as you see, the code adds additional slashes. Because of this, it's preferable to use single quotes instead. Let's run the code and check the result. Click on the play icon. The Chrome web page that is being controlled by automated test software will be opened with the Find Elements form. And in a couple of seconds, the required fields will be highlighted in red, which means that the Submit button was located and clicked. Let's check the next XPath locator. The next XPath selector is with tag and text. A text content selector is XPath allows you to locate elements based on their contained text. This is particularly useful when you want to find elements that have specific text content, such as buttons with specific labels, headings, links, and more. Let's go to the website and find a valid text content selector for XPath. After returning to our form, we inspect the Submit button. As you remember, after writing the XPath selector only with the tag button, there are 3 search results. And in order to make it unique on the page, besides writing the XPath selector with tag and attribute value, we can write it also with text content selector for XPath. In particular, the text might be the name of the Submit button. Therefore, we type button tag and then add tag syntax, which is open brackets, then text, parenthesis, equal, type name of the element submit into the single quotation marks, and close the brackets. However, as you can see, there is no result found for such an element on our page. It happens because there are different tags used to define the structure and content of a web page. In our case, the submit text is located inside the span tag of the HTML element, while we wrote the button text, meaning that we are finding the text into the button tag. Both tag button and span are essential elements in HTML for building interactive and visually appealing web pages. While button is specifically used for creating clickable buttons, span provides a versatile way to apply styles and manipulate specific sections of content within a web page. Let's change these tags in our XPath syntax with the text content selector. Write span instead of button after the double slash. The span tag of the submit button will be highlighted in green in the HTML code. Additionally, when searching for this XPath, only one element is found, which corresponds to our submit button. Consequently, we wrote a unique XPath for our submit button using the text content selector. Copy it. Let's add the code to IntelliJ IDEA. Back to the tool and paste the XPath into the double quotes, changing the value from the previous one. Once you are done, click the play icon to run the code and check the result. The Chrome web page that is being controlled by automated test software will be opened with the Find Elements form. And in a couple of seconds, the required fields will be highlighted in red, which means that the Submit button was located and clicked. In this way, we made sure that one and the same element in HTML can be found by writing two different XPaths by tag and attribute, and by tag and text content. Let's check the next XPath locator, that is asterisk. Asterisk is a wildcard character that represents any element node. It's used to select all elements regardless of their tag name. As you can see, it means that in our previous XPath selectors, instead of double slash and tag, we can write just an asterisk after the double slash. Let's check it. Back to our website and type the XPath test content selector for the submit button. Then replace the span tag of the XPath with the asterisk. As a result, we can see that the result of the search is the same. One element, which is our submit button. To be sure that the XPath is working, return to IntelliJ IDEA and make the same action in our code. Replace the span tag of the XPath with the asterisk. The final code should look like this: double slash, asterisk, open brackets, then text, parenthesis, equal, type the name of the element submit into the single quotation marks, and close the brackets. Now we can run the code to make sure we did everything correctly. Click on the play icon. The Chrome web page that is being controlled by automated test software will be opened within Find Elements form. And in a couple of seconds, the required fields will be highlighted in red, which means that the Submit button was located and clicked. In this way, we made sure that we can replace the span tag with the asterisk, and it will work. Let's try to do the same with the button tag. Find the line of code with the button tag in our Selenium locators XPath test file and replace the button tag with the asterisk. Click on the play test icon and run the test. The web page will be opened, and in a couple of seconds, the required fields will be highlighted in red, indicating that our step to click on the Submit button works as expected using the asterisk instead of the button tag. The final code will be available in the lecture materials and on our website tested101.net. Thus, we have learned how to write XPath selectors with the tag and attribute value, with the tag and text content selector, and with the asterisk instead of any tag. Let's go further and learn several commonly used XPath functions and operators. In automation testing, XPath functions and operators are invaluable for creating precise and robust XPath expressions to locate elements on a web page. These functions and operators allow testers to perform various operations and comparisons, enabling them to accurately select specific elements based on different criteria. The first operator which we are going to show is AND. The AND operator is used to combine multiple conditions, and it returns true if both conditions are satisfied. The syntax of the selector with the AND function should consist of the operator AND between the selectors. For example, selector for XPath with the text content plus selector for XPath with attribute value. Let's check it in practice. Navigate to our website, click on the Choose the Account Type drop-down and inspect the Personal option. The HTML of the Personal option will be displayed pre-selected. As you can see, the code contains the attribute value, that is, class with its values. We can write the XPath with tag and attribute value for this element. Click Ctrl F on the keyboard and type the corresponding XPath which is displayed on the screen. Our Personal option of the drop-down menu will be highlighted. However, the search displays two different results indicating that we have two elements with this class name. To write a unique XPath, we can add the AND operator and one more XPath selector, for example with the text content. For that reason, we leave only the attribute name selector, which is our class name with its value. Then we add the selector with the text content plus operator AND before the attribute name selector. Please check the code on the screen. After writing the XPath this way, the search will display only one search result, indicating that we wrote the unique XPath for our Personal option of the drop-down menu. Let's check in. Return to IntelliJ IDEA and add the same code as for the other element with the new XPath for our Personal option. The final code should look like this: /*, open brackets, then text, parenthesis, equal, type the name of the element Personal, then operator AND plus attribute name, selector, which is our class name with its value, and close the brackets. Since this is a drop-down menu, first we need to open it, and only after that click on the Personal option. Thus, we need to add one more step to click on the drop-down menu, added before the Personal option selection. The final code will be available in lecture materials and on our website testing101.net. Now we can run the code to make sure we did everything correctly. Click on the play icon. The Chrome web page that is being controlled by automated test software will be opened with the Find Elements form. And in a couple of seconds, the required Personal option will be selected, which means that the Personal option was located and clicked. Let's move on to the next XPath operator. The next XPath operator is OR. The OR operator is used to combine conditions, and it returns true if at least one of the conditions is satisfied. Take a look at the example of the screen. Let's check it in practice. Back to our website and using our previous XPath, change the operator AND to OR. As you can see, after changing the XPath operator, our search shows three search results indicating that there are three elements with either the first or second XPath selectors. To show how to write a unique XPath with OR selector, we can use the first name field. Inspect it. As you can see, this field consists of the element name and ID with their attribute values. So we can write XPath with OR using these two attributes. Press Ctrl F on the keyboard and type first selector with asterisk to find any element by the first name field ID, then operator OR plus selector with attribute name, which in our case is name, first name. After writing such XPath, the search will display one search result, and the first name field HTML will be highlighted. To be sure that the XPath is working, return to the IntelliJ IDEA and make the same action in our code. Add one more step with our XPath for the first name field. The final code should look like this: /*, open brackets, at ID equal type ID of the first name field into the single quotation marks, then operator OR plus attribute name selector, which in our case is name, first name, and close the brackets. Now we can run the code to make sure we did everything correctly. Click on the play icon. The Chrome web page that is being controlled by automated test software will be opened with the Find Elements form. And in a couple of seconds, the cursor will be displayed on the required field, which means that the first name field was located and clicked. Let's move on to the next XPath function of the XPath, which is Contains. The Contains function in XPath is used to find elements whose attribute values contain a specific substring. For that reason, we are using the next XPath expression. Take a look at the example on the screen and let's check it in practice. Navigate back to our website and inspect the Terms and Conditions button of our Find Elements form. The Terms and Conditions HTML code will be displayed pre-selected. As you can see, our element consists of the span attribute with the text Terms and Conditions, and based on its value, we can write our XPath expression. Click Ctrl F on the keyboard and type the corresponding XPath, which is displayed on the screen. It means locate any element with the attribute which contains the text values. For example, type terms word into the brackets. To be sure that the XPath is working, return to the IntelliJ IDEA and make the same action in our code. Add one more step with our XPath to the T and C button. Take a look at the final code on the screen. Now we can run the code to make sure we did everything correctly. Click on the plane icon. The Chrome web page that is being controlled by automated test software will be opened with the Find Elements form. And in a couple of seconds, the page scrolls down, which means that the T and C button was located and clicked. Besides using the Contain function to locate elements which contain the text value, we can also use this function to locate elements which contain the attribute value. Let's try to do that in practice. Navigate to our website and inspect the Choose the Account Type drop-down menu. The HTML code of the element will be displayed pre-selected. As you can see, our element consists of the class attribute with its value, and based on its value, we can write our XPath expression. For example, at the end of the class attribute value, we have a word with several characters, which we can use for our XPath expression. Click Ctrl F on the keyboard and type the corresponding XPath, which is displayed on the screen. It means locate any element with the class which contains the mentioned values. To be sure that the XPath is working, return to the IntelliJ IDEA and make the same action in our code. Add one more step with our XPath for the Choose an Account Type drop-down menu. Take a look at the final code on the screen. Now we can run the code to make sure we did everything correctly. Click on the play icon. The Chrome web page that is being controlled by automated test software will be opened with the Find Elements form. And in a couple of seconds, the Choose the Account Type drop-down menu will be opened, which means that the element was located and clicked. Let's move on to the next function of the XPath, which is / to locate parent-child element of the DOM. / can be used to traverse the DOM hierarchy without specifying the exact path, tag. Let's check this in practice. Navigate to our Find Elements form on the website and inspect the Submit button. The HTML code of the element will be displayed. As you can see, the code of the Submit button has the corresponding hierarchy with parent and child elements. In HTML, this parent-child relationship is crucial for understanding the structure of the document, and is often used for styling with CSS and for selecting elements with JavaScript or XPath. In our code, we have button parent element of the HTML, which contains the child element span with the submit text. So if we try to write the XPath with tag button for the parent element and with the text submit of the child element, please take a look at the code on the screen. The search will be displayed with 0 such results as the text is located at a different HTML element. To write XPath for locating our submit button, we should use the span element of the HTML. As this element is the child element from the button element, all that we need is to add / and span tag next to button tag. Take a look at the code on the screen. The child element with the Submit button will be highlighted. To be sure that the XPath is working, return to the IntelliJ IDEA and make the same action in our code. Add one more step with our XPath. Take a look at the final code on the screen. Now we can run the code to make sure we did everything correctly. Click on the play icon. The Chrome web page that is being controlled by automated test software will be opened with the Find Elements form. And in a couple of seconds, the required fields will be highlighted in red, which means that the Submit button was located and clicked. In this video, we were learning how to write different types of XPath selectors such as with tag plus attribute value, with tag plus text content, with asterisk. Also, we were learning a few XPath operators such as and, or, and functions such as contains and double slash. That's all from our side. In the next video, we are going to show you how to write XPath with the help of ChatGPT. If there are topics that you would like to see, write a comment or question to the lecture. And we hope to see you in the next video.